The story continues as the magazine director previews their special issues, starting with Yuuya, and she's impressed with how the shots turned out. The lady revises a plan, which will make Yuuya a part of their agency. In the following day, Kaori happens to be at Yuuya's house as they study together. Kaori sees that he is struggling with a particular question, so she helps him to answer it. Yuuya shows gratitude to Kaori, but she mentions that he also helped her a lot with his language comprehension skills. She asks Yuuya if she can use his washroom, but after she left the room, Yuuya wondered if she will be able to find the bathroom, but instead, the girl has found herself in the hidden room. As she steps towards the door of the other world, Yuuya calls to her, which startles her, and after some hesitation, he informs her about the door leading to another world. He asks her to put her hand near the door, and she feels the barrier which prevents anyone from entering. He informs her that only the ones he designates can get through the door. He further explains that this world has magic and he shows it to her, and tells her about all the other skills and abilities he gained from this world that enabled him to beat the delinquents and save the girls from the fire. He offers her to go to the other side, and she was happy with his offer. He tells her about Night and Akatsuki and their species. Kaori's stats suddenly appear, and Yuuya explains to her how everything in this world is measured with numerical values. He also tells her that her stats are higher than his when he first came. Kaori informs him that she would like to see more of this world, but Yuuya tells her about the monsters in the forest, but he promises her that he will take her out another time. He pleads with her not to tell anyone about what she has witnessed, and she gets excited, because they now have a secret that is exclusive between the two of them. Meanwhile, in the capital, Lexia returns and announces her arrival to her father. The king asks Owen about Yuuya, as he was supposed to come with them, then he explains to the king what happened. The king notices Luna, and asks if she has anything to do with what happened. She boldly confesses to the king about her assassination mission, so the king decides to put her to death with his hands. He dashes in an instant, ready to cut her, but he stopped in his tracks. The king is impressed that she perceived his sword's special trait. She stopped the king's arms, rather than blocking the blade, because she knew the sword, and how it can easily cut through anything which tries to stop it. Lexia interrupts and gets angry at her father, and complains about his behavior. Hearing these words, he steps down immediately, and recognizes Luna as Lexia's guard. He later has a private meeting with Owen, where he reveals that hearing his daughter's displeasure struck him deeply. Owen later tells him that Luna is the headhunter, which made the king more interested to know how Yuuya stopped her assassination attempt. While explaining, his mouth slips again, and reveals that Luna and Lexia went to Yuuya's house and spend the night there. The king swiftly cut his chair out of anger, and promised to wash the family's shame that Yuuya gave him with his sword. The masked prince gets a report that the headhunter failed her mission due to someone that lives in the darkest regions. He is also informed that the assassin became Lexia's guard. And after knowing that Yuuya has been invited to the royal palace, he devises a plan to get rid of his father and sister. He presents his subordinate with a magic sealing barrier. Once it has been activated, no magic can be used within its bounds. Later, the school had a 3-day holiday, and this gives time for Yuuya to go to the royal palace. In the way, he shoots down a sleep sheep, and one of its dropped items is a paradise bedding. He take it and make their way into town. He is amazed by the town, and he goes to the merchant guild, and the guild master is impressed when Yuuya presents him ground pepper from his world. The merchant pays 100 gold coins, and Yuuya is not sure of the significance of that value, so the merchant explains that 5 gold coins can take care of a family of 4 comfortably for a year. The merchant gives Yuuya a merchant guild card, which will serve as identification for him. Then the merchant points Yuuya to the carriage that will take him to the royal capital. Upon arrival, Yuuya is taken aback by the density of people. They reach the palace, where they are received by Owen. He takes them straight to the king's hall, which surprises him. Yuuya nervously walks towards the king, and his level of anxiety reduces when he sees Lexia and Luna. Owen officially introduces Yuuya and bow to the king, and Yuuya do the same out of respect. The king begins to confront Yuuya about seducing his daughter into marriage. This gets him in a panic, and when the king complains that he didn't bring a gift for his daughter, Yuuya apologizes for that and pulls out the paradise bedding. Lexia starts to get excited, as she calls Yuuya bold. And the king gets so angry that he descends with his blade in his hand. Owen intercepts and explains to the king that Yuuya doesn't know their customs. It's revealed that in this kingdom, giving bedding to someone means proposing to that person. The king draws his blade, ready to send Yuuya to the other world. Suddenly, they got raided by the assassins, and they used the magic ceiling barrier, but Yuuya and his pets knocked them out. Luna notices that Yuuya got stronger again, and the king watches while annoyed, as Lexia hugs Yuuya for saving her again. Owen investigates to find clues as to who was behind the attack, then he finds Rigger's crest, which is the masked prince. Knowing this, Owen asks for Yuuya's assistance in facing this threat, as it could spell the end of the kingdom. And that's the end of the video. Please tell me your opinion, and like the video. Take care, and stay tuned for the next episode.